Too gross, too creepy, too sad, or just too bad. Sometimes a film dishes out more than we can handle. Whether it's crazy camera work or unbearable scenes, there are plenty of reasons that audiences prematurely head to the exits. Here are a few films that were just too hard to sit through. The Walk. Even seasoned film critics and industry insiders felt the dizzying effects of French daredevil Philippe Petit walking a tightrope between Manhattan's Twin Towers in 2015's The Walk. The 3D biopic recreates the notorious 1974 stunt in ways that past mediums, including a memoir and a documentary, could not. And that included making people leave the theater to vomit. CBS News even advised people to avoid large meals before attending a screening, reporting that at least 10% of audiences were getting physically ill. All previous footage of Petit's heart-stopping stroll between the skyscrapers, which he completed 8 times over 45 minutes without a safety net or harness, was captured from the ground or the buildings. The thing that neither the book nor the documentary could do was actually put the audience up on the wire with Philippe, director Robert Zemeckis told Vanity Fair. "We did. And that is what movies are all about. That and, apparently, barfing." Freaks. Director Todd Browning's pre-code horror film about a 1932 circus proved so shocking that the original copies were pulled from theaters and destroyed, along with Browning's career. In the movie, a gorgeous trapeze artist plans to marry and then murder the leader of a group of sideshow performers to gain his inheritance. The plot pits the normal members of the circus against the freaks. Browning made the bold choice of casting real circus folk with abnormalities to play the sideshow performers. Viewers were supposed to come away with the message that one's looks do not equate to one's morality, but things didn't go as planned. "It is impossible for the normal man or woman to sympathize with the aspiring midget," said a contemporary review in Variety. The Hollywood Reporter called it an outrageous onslaught upon the feelings, the senses, the brains, and the stomachs of an audience. Mass walkouts ensued. The film was banned in the UK, and according to the book Horror Movie Freak, one woman threatened to sue MGM, claiming the movie made her miscarry. Comparatively, it's hard to comprehend that level of loathing among today's audiences. American Horror Story Freak Show took home 5 Emmys in 2015. What a difference a day makes. 127 Hours. In 2003, outdoorsman Aaron Ralston became trapped in a slot canyon in Utah for 127 hours, his right arm pinned by a boulder. To escape, he sawed off his own arm with a dull pocket knife. In 2010, director Danny Boyle released a movie starring James Franco about the true story, but when viewers arrived at that pivotal scene, many couldn't hack it. Movie Line compiled reports of fainting, vomiting, and seizures at film festivals and screenings across the country. Franco told Vulture, "It's meant to be an intense, personal, immersive experience, and when he cuts off his arm, maybe it feels like it's happening to you." Despite the suffering of moviegoers, the film was nominated for 6 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Actor. So let's give the film a hand. It really needs one. Irreversible. Don't be ashamed if this controversial 2002 French film makes you want to curl up in the fetal position. Critic Roger Ebert gave the movie 3 stars, but also called it so violent and cruel that most people will find it unwatchable. He was right, but it wasn't just the brutality that overwhelmed audiences. There was also a scientific explanation for their abhorrence. Director Gaspar Noé added low-frequency background noise to the soundtrack of his revenge thriller. Though such extreme bass waves are inaudible to humans, the BBC reported that infrasound can induce anxiety, extreme sorrow, heart palpitations, and shivering. Naturally occurring infrasound has been associated with areas of supernatural activity, as well as being produced prior to natural disasters such as storms and earthquakes. Our response to certain kinds of noise is something so profound in us that we can't switch it off, science writer Philip Ball told the BBC. Film composers know that and use it to shortcut the logical part of our brain and get straight to the emotional centers. The Paranormal Activity franchise and other horror movies have allegedly used this tactic as well, so the next time you're watching a movie between your fingers, don't fault your courage. Blame the fear frequency. Tree of Life. While film scholars called Tree of Life a masterpiece, the man on the street asked for his money back. Terrence Malick's experimental drama explores many themes: the creation of the world, the meaning of life, the conflict between science and religion, and the bond between family, which is a lot for any movie to handle. Tree of Life dropped the ball. Maybe it was just too much for the average date night because folks left the movie in droves. They weren't scared or grossed out, they just didn't like it. Despite an 85% Metacritic rating, disputes about refunds arose and theaters scrambled to make their policies clear. According to the New York Times, the Avon Theater in Connecticut posted a sign urging customers to read up on the film before choosing to see it because it was not issuing refunds. Other cinemas agreed to reimbursements for those who left within 30 minutes, and Brad Pitt laughed all the way to the bank. Cloverfield. If this 2008 found-footage horror film makes you lose your lunch, fear not, you're not alone. So many people got sick during screenings that some cinemas began posting warning signs. In the movie, 6 Manhattan millennials are attending a party when a gigantic monster attacks the city. Their experience is documented on a personal video camera later recovered by the U.S. Department of Defense. The footage is so jerky that bucketfuls of popcorn were regurgitated in cinema seats, bathrooms, and the expansive floor between the seats and the bathrooms. Because instances of nausea were so prevalent, WebMD even wrote an article about the specific motion sickness phenomenon, stating, "While watching Cloverfield, viewers were sitting still in their seats, so their inner ear was telling their body they were motionless, but the bumpy camera movements and their eyes misled them into thinking they were moving erratically." Similar side effects occurred during screenings of The Blair Witch Project in 1998. Fortunately, Cloverfield's first quasi-spin-off, the 2016 hit 10 Cloverfield Lane, dispensed with the jiggly camera work, opting for good old-fashioned jiggly John Goodman instead. Thanks for watching! Subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch more videos like the one you just saw, and leave us a comment.